Hey, welcome to Two on and Son. You know, it's kind of weird, Dad. Usually we're sitting in your kitchen. Usually it's nighttime. Nighttime is the right time, and everything's all like smooth. But we're in the harsh daylight, and we're in the new location of the Gamma Gym. What's that location, Dad?
That is 1117 St. Catherine West.
Floor number 2, suite 222. All right, and I'm looking around in here, and I'm looking at infinite possibilities. I'm also noticing that. Part of our conversation last week pertained to how to hang a punching bag in a place that it doesn't have cement floors and ceilings. And you went through great lengths with Guillaume. Guillaume works here yesterday to hang them up. And you know what? I think it's a very nifty idea. How did you come up with this MacGyver-style contraption?
Well, one of the old Kachigewo students from the old days, John, he has a steel company in Verdun. And one day, unbeknownst to me, he brought over a really long angle, about 15 and a half, 16 feet long, 4-inch by 6-inch angle iron by a 1/4 inch thick or 3/8 of an inch thick. I can't see it from here. Anyway, so he gave that to me, and I attached it to the ceiling we had in the other place, which was the aforementioned steel and concrete slab construction, which worked just fine. You just drill a couple of holes, put in an anchor, and poof, there it is, forever and ever. But this place has I-beam, but it's covered with some kind of light brick, so you can't really put anything in that brick because it'll fall apart.
Yeah, we said all of this last episode.
I know, but you're asking me how I did it. So what I did was I got this beam, and I got another beam from Home Depot, drilled some holes, and then got some threaded rod, and I stretched it across the two spaces and got big nuts, and then squeezed it all together.
You got some big nuts,
and I squeezed
them all together. Oh my God! Now you're like going through this like, God, what the hell is his name? Bob Vila. Yeah. All right. Anyhow, so we're here in the gym right now, and right before we just ordered this, my best friend and I, Jason, we have a birthday party superhero business called Hero Party Montreal, where we come to the kids. So we come to your houses and we entertain your kids for an hour to an hour and a half.
This isn't really an advertisement.
Dressed as Batman, Captain America, Spider-Man, and all that kind of stuff. We just made a fresh order where Jason pretty much ordered every costume under the sun, and I proceeded to spend.
He also got one for his wife. Either that, or I'm very worried about him.
Anyhow, and I proceeded to dwell on the details of the only costume I bought. I bought a Deadpool costume, and I proceeded to
round eyes or square eyes.
Round eyes or square eyes, Dad. What do you think? What do you think, Dad?
What's a Deadpool?
And Dad just couldn't care less, and didn't hesitate to show me that fact through his body language and his actual language,
Well, no, we were supposed to do it yesterday, but then you didn't have your access to your
yeah, but it's a good thing I did have access to my site because I got $5 off because we buy so much crap.
Shh.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to say anything.
Why? It just shows that I'm like
you're like a businessman.
I'm a good customer. Yeah, I'm such a good customer that I'm not telling you guys what the website is because I want it all for me. Damn it, all for me. Y'all see? Dad, Halloween's coming up. I say with cough in my breath. I'll start to laugh at the same time to sound evil. There's little known about the Philip Jalna that used to run around in a karate outfit, jump kicking trees in Hudson. But paint a picture.
Thank God for small miracles.
Paint a picture. He had a lot of brothers.
I had 3 brothers. I still have 3 brothers and a sister.
But Thanksgiving just happened. And you know what? Before we go on and talk about Halloween, I think that could be next week's episode because we got about one more episode before Halloween comes. Halloween comes, 1 or 2 more episodes. Let's talk a little bit about Thanksgiving. I was going to go into a whole thing about you and costumes, but I think we're going to handle that till next week. So do some research, Mr. Dementia, and try to remember your own childhood. But in the meantime, let's talk about some Thanksgiving memories you got with your brothers and sisters there, because Uncle Paul once almost wrote an entire book or illustrated an entire book portraying all of us as lovable mice.
Mice, yeah.
And, telling our family history or histories of Thanksgiving.
Well, I remember.
I love it, but that book, by the way, I thought it was the greatest thing in the world, and it's aged well,
Mm-hmm.
The Kindle edition is coming out. No, it's not.
The mouse-sized version, yes. Yeah. Thanksgiving, we lived in Hudson until about 1969. And we moved there when I was in just before grade 1. So I guess I'm going to be 63, and I'm going to be doing some mental ciphering. So like 52, 58. I guess I moved back to Montreal and I moved out to Hudson.
Most people my age will be like, the world was black and white back then.
It was black and
There was no internet and no Wi-Fi.
and very little TV.
Yes. So please continue. Black and white miniature version of Philip.
Well, we remember we used to watch TV on about a 20-inch TV, and we'd always break off the antennas from all of our TVs. And after a while, we used to have metal hangers, and that was our antenna.
Okay.
And they were great antenna, and by the way,
Yeah.
you could
You got a whopping 2 channels
We
there.
had a whopping 2 channels. We had CBC and channel 12, which was not yet on. There was no CTV network at that time.
It's funny, Jason, my friend in question, who has a super business with me, won't stop texting me right now, which just makes me think, like, what kind of job do you have where you can text this much, man? I have a day off today because I'm, a sample of regular health. Anyway, so you're saying something about the 40s, yeah?
But the 50s,
The 1800s. Gotcha.
the 1800s, yeah. Back in the after the Great War, but before the Korean War, there was another war, and I wasn't born during that war. I was born after that war too.
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, we had we used to we had a house on the Ottawa River, and we used to have this turkey. My mother would cook it, and we would all gather around, and we would lie to each other about how great things were because I'm just joking. Just a little bit of dramatic irony there. No, but we would have this thing, and and invariably, we'd have a couple of adults, and there would be way too much wine, and there'd be way too much other stuff, and it would just so we would kind of it was a time.
A cluster.
Not cluster. It was a different time.
Okay.
But when we moved to Montreal, that book was written, and we remember that because everybody was going through a growth stage at that time. This was '69, so I was, I guess, 18, 18 because my birthday wasn't until. Oh, here they are.
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
As Dad tells this tale about the 1920s, some other people are coming.
Yeah, things I remember from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Do I remember anything else from the 1920s? Oh, no, not
Was your
really.
dad horny in the 1920s?
I don't think my dad was born in the 1920s.
Oh, there you go. Okay, if you say so.
Oh, he was born in maybe 1926, so that was a very difficult time for for him to manifest that kind of urge.
Oh, if you knew Grandpere, you wouldn't be surprised.
Anyway,
Growth spurts, growing.
That one time that Ryan caused mention of was we were around the dining room table, and my young daughter Serena had a new doll. And it was actually kind of funny because in the time up to that Thanksgiving, she would bring. We weren't living there, and so we would. My daughter would bring out the doll, and she would show it to one of my brothers. Then one of my brothers was kind of ignoring her. I think it was Patrick.
Okay.
And so she kind of went, "No, look at my doll," and she hit him a couple of times on the head with the doll. At which point, my brother, who
It was a hard-headed doll.
was a hard-headed doll. He got angry and grabbed it out of her hand and like in furious Jelena speak said, "Don't do that!" And so she cried, and, and it was because, of course, that was hurting her doll, and so
we
then
must
she went,
conserve this
then
doll's feelings.
Ryan was underneath the dining room table singing. That's what I remember. He was singing at his heart's content. And, of course, my sister was trying, she thought that family should have more normal Thanksgivings than we did. So she expressed the feeling that perhaps his mother could get him to shut up. And so that made Ruth nonetheless more protective of you than ever.
She's like, just sing away, boy, sing away.
That's correct. That's correct.
And I'm still singing now.
Exactly. See, Ruth actually motivated him to have a rock and roll career.
Yeah, there you go. So what you're saying is I've fallen off the path of table singing.
Under the table singing.
Yeah, under the table. I've gone above the table. I'm on top of the table. Yeah.
Now you're just a hooligan.
Yes. All right. So, that's and the irony of all this is that Aunt Claire, God bless her, she would have a son later on named Patrick, who in his youth was a tad bit hyperactive. Now he's a calm, collected, wonderful, wonderful kid, an athlete. But as a child, oh my God. This one time, grandmother gave me a card, and I don't remember when it was. It was some sort of holiday. And he's like, grabs it, he's running around and stuff like that. He goes, "Here's your stupid card," and slams it on the ground and made my ex-girlfriend burst into tears. She was laughing so hard. Just a visualization of this. Yeah, good stuff. We're all kids once.
Yep. And we have a lot to give thanks for because we're now not kids anymore.
Were you ever obnoxious like that when you were younger?
I'm sure we all were.
Pertaining to Thanksgiving, at least? Do you have any Thanksgiving memories when you were like, let's say, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to tell because it's been so many years and stuff like that, but I'm sure due to the many times that people would just reiterate these stories and be like, "Oh yeah, remember Philip, remember that time you went down on that sled naked," like, I don't know. Not that story specifically because it doesn't exist, but
we hope it doesn't exist. Oh my God, what are you talking about? That phrase could be turned around and made some very difficult times for people. Anyway, let's see. Thanksgiving in our place was, of course, it's always in October, so there's very rarely ever snow on the ground. So you're just like basically walking around looking at the leaves fall off the trees, and nowadays TV and movies are open. In the old days, no movie theaters were open on Christmas Day, so you were bored to death forever. So, you had the breakfast open, the presents, the lunch about 2:00, and then, you could. I don't know how many times.
I'd just like to bring up though that America sent a man to the moon in these said boring times. So perhaps we could use a few more.
Yeah, okay. That was 1968. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, like America could still send a man to a moon, but it's going to be with an iPhone 8. Look to the stars, kids. Look to the future.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But no, I have no true memories of negativity and that stuff.
That's good.
So it's like, hey, man, we get to eat turkey.
Well, just bring up the family part. I remember growing up, we had like this family, but mostly on your side, we'd all hang out because they all lived in town. Mom's relatives are spread across the great continent of Canada. Mm-hmm. And yes, I'm aware of the irony of what I just said. I'm aware it's a country. Just making sure you're all on your toes there. If you caught this little flaw, let me know. I can get you some tickets to the Comedy Nest. Comedy Works. My bad. Comedy Works. Yeah. Anyway. So
what's Nest?
Stay tuned.
Okay.
Anyhow, Mom's relatives are spread out across this great country of Canada, but your relatives are all kind of, grandmother lived down the street from us, so that was kind of easy to just rouse all the children's children and get us all together for the holidays and the special occasions. Remember, Christmas time was pretty cool, getting together. But I will say this, though. There was a generation gap where you and your brothers all decided to bang at once and have kids. And then 5 years later...
decided to bang, did we?
5 years, 5 years later, you and Mom had a little bit of wine and had me. And didn't tell your brothers about it, apparently, because there was no children my age.
Yeah, but
and then 10 years later,
and there were mother.
Then 10 years later, everyone decided to get together again without you and have more kids. So when you were, was there a large generation gap between you and your brothers? Were you all pretty tight? Was there people to play with at your family gatherings?
Well, Paul and I were pretty tight because we were about a 1 year and 3 months apart. Peter came around 3.5 years later. And then Patrick was, closer to Peter's age, and so they were playing together. But mostly in the early days, Patrick and Claire were hanging out together until she decided to realize that she was a girl and didn't want to hang out with him anymore.
I remember kind of there was always there's a 5-year difference between me and Serena. And then when Serena realized she was a girl, there was no playing anymore.
This is true.
She was like, hey, wait a second.
I don't have to do this.
Yeah. Serena used to have this amazing run. And as my mom would tell the story, she remembered that you and Mom were just glancing out the window. And both me and Serena went across the street to school, to Westmount Park Elementary, and you saw her kind of like run across the street for something and realize that her
She used to run everywhere. I mean, she wouldn't walk; she would run everywhere.
that does not happen now.
No, but she used to run everywhere. And and they used to have a family day at the beginning of the summer at the park, and she used to win every race. You just basically have to hold her back until they said go, and then you just kind of let her go, and she would just run and win. And she did that for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and then I guess when she's around 8 or 9, there was, she went through, I guess, the first of many changes, and
8 or
literally,
9. My God.
well, no, the running part.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, but literally she ran across the street, and instead of running across the street, she kind of did this other thing that people call running, but wasn't running. And it was just, I mean, it wasn't a bad thing. It was just really, it was kind of like, oh, sort of like.
There goes that Wheaties box.
Well, no, because she was a really talented runner. She beat everybody. And it was like, then she decided that running wasn't for losers. And so she never ran again.
Okay. Huh. I used to run. Yeah. Actually, I won a couple of things by running. Not as mad, but, then life kicked in. I'm not sure if I have asthma, but I feel like it because I wheeze while doing everything.
But what's amazing, though, about Serena is that she had that, or still has actually, that feeling of confidence well, actually, you picked that up from somewhere, I guess.
From the ashes of Serena's run.
Serena, right. She left these things on the ground, and Brian picked them up. But no,
they were shoes.
It was amazing because her friend Erin had competed in a talent day, and Serena, not to be outdone, decided that she was therefore going to compete in this talent day as well.
Okay.
And she hadn't trained, she hadn't rehearsed, she had no idea what she was going to do. She and her friend Erin had both had grape-like suits.
Okay.
They were for California raisins.
Yeah.
And so Serena went home and got that, came back and sang the Raisin song. And it was amazing because she had no reason to be there because she hadn't rehearsed, she had done nothing. And she almost won.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Yeah, Serena and I have the opposite of peer pressure. It's kind of like pure dominance. Pure dominance. Like, you see someone, it's like, I like that person. They're doing that. How can I destroy them?
Did you say that?
No, not really. But that happened once, though, when we were helping my friend Marco move into one of his old places. His brother's friends were there, being 18, 19-year-olds. They enjoy their extracurricular activities. And, they'd lift something up and kind of walk from one place to another. And then you just see cut to me carrying an entire bookshelf being like, get out of the way, weaklings. Yeah. So I think what I'm getting at, Dad, is I'm a total schmuck. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe. But no, it's funny because as Serena grew older, she became more susceptible to peer pressure, and she stopped performing things like that. And what makes it even funnier is that you, her somewhat shy brother, became the performer in the family. It's like, is there a microphone nearby? Excuse me, I have to perform.
Excuse me, let me talk into it.
Exactly. It was because I remember you had that band in high school.
Yeah.
And you guys played. You had played at your high school.
Yeah.
And there was with those chairs. There was that stage that was actually just a bunch of tables.
Yeah, and
they weren't actually connected.
Robin, the other guy who was performing, was jumping up and down until the stage came out from underneath him. He kind of just went straight through it. That was good.
He went through a different stage in his life.
But that's the thing, Dad. Dad. Being that age, he just sprung up and kept playing. If we were this age, Dad, and we fell through this stage, it'd be like,
call me a doctor.
Help.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so the Catchy Kembo class is about to start. All the boys are here. They're all bent over doing some sort of funny stretch.
They're praying to the gods that they know.
They're praying to the God. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyhow, if you guys out there want to come and try out Gamma's class, if you want to try out the Catchy Kembo class, you can have a free trial. You can come and you can bend over like the rest of these guys, and with them, like the best of them, and you can learn some sweet martial arts.
Some sweet martial arts, yeah.
All right, Dad.
And we do this, and we do Cali and JKD and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling.
We got
Muay
the
Thai.
boxing.
We got the boxing. Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
we don't forget the boxing. All right, so anyway, everybody out there in TV, internet, YouTube land there who are just listening in, I'm Ryan Sticks Yauna.
And I'm Philip Touangeli.
Thank you for listening to Tuan and Son.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, let's go
Thanks.
bend over. All right, bye.